Hello, and welcome to the Fiber Circus. This is episode number 21, and it is May 23rd of 2019. I'm your host, Elizabeth, coming to you from southern Indiana, where I have an alpaca and other critter farm, along with a hand-dyeing business, and I do a lot of knitting, spinning, not much weaving, machine knitting, and all sorts of other interesting crafty things sometimes. So sit back and relax and enjoy the episode. If you're a returning viewer, thanks a lot for coming back. And if you're a new viewer, hopefully you enjoy the show. Please hit like and subscribe down below, and all the show notes will be for this episode underneath us in the description bar. And there's a little arrow down below where you can hit it, and it'll show you all the links for everything. So, it's been a little while since I have podcasted because I've been on the road a bit. So, it was a solid week out in Colorado, and it was really dry, and the plane flight back didn't fly real well with me, so it's been a little bit getting recording here. So I've got a bit of knitting at least to show with you guys this week. So my work's in progress. I really took 2 projects with me on the airplane because I wanted to have stuff that I could work on, but wasn't super large to travel with. So the first thing that I was working on is my Meraki tank by Sara, Gresbach, and this is what it's gonna look like. And mine is gonna be red with a gold upper, and I put quite a bit of work on it since last time we talked. So last time we talked, I was clear down there. I just basically started the ribbing. So since then, I've got probably a good 6 inches worth of knitting on it, and I've started doing some waist shaping decreases on it. I'm knitting this on a size 6 4mm needle. And the yarn that I'm using is hopefully a nice summer blend. And it is called Beroco Remix Light. And it is a nylon cotton acrylic and silk blend. And it's a fingering weight. So far I really haven't had any issues with the yarn. It is easy to break if you yank on it hard enough. If you look at it, you can see that the yarn has all sorts of little slubby bits in it. And that's most likely the cotton, and the linen is my guess. So it's making a nice soft fabric. It feels pretty lightweight, so hopefully it will truly be a summer tank top, like I'm planning on it. But yeah, so far it's not going too bad. I'm doing a decreased round every 4 or 5 rows, so I'm having to keep track of that, which is a little bit rough, but I'm making little marks on my pattern, which help out. And it is currently living in a bag by Slip Stitch Studio, and it's a peccacorn bag. And I got this, it's been over a year ago, I know, but I thought it was really cute because there's little alpaca unicorns that are knitting there. I think she may have called them llamacorns. Peccacorns, llamacorns, they're about all the same, to be quite honest. So that is the first thing that I've been working on. And then the second thing that I took on the plane with me was another project that's just kind of been lingering because I just hadn't had the mojo to work on it. And it is my Dust of Snow wrap that was part of an Advent knit-along from December. Notice I didn't finish it in December, obviously. But it's the Dust of Snow wrap by Helen Stewart. And I'm doing it out of a set of mini skeins from Stitch Together Studio. And I'm up into this green ball right now. So I am currently on color number... thought I was a little bit farther along than that. Color number 12 out of 24. So I have all of these guys still to go for mini skeins. So I'm plugging away on it. It's not that it's a hard project to work on, but you do some rows of garter and then some rows of this kind of open work pattern or decrease pattern. And it's getting pretty large. So I worked a bit on this on the flight out to Denver. I was watching the Vikings, the most recent season of Vikings, which I really love to watch. And I was going to work on the way back, but the flight had a ton of turbulence, and I discovered that the kitty cats at the place where I was staying had eaten through my headphone cords, so I couldn't listen to my TV shows like I'd planned on. So It's going pretty well, though. I like it. It's going to be pretty large once it gets blocked out. It's already out past my fingertip, and I'm less than halfway through, roughly. So, it's moving along pretty well. It's one of those things that I just kind of pick up at random to work on. It's not completely mindless like a pair of socks, but it's not tons of lace to worry about. And it's living in my cat sushi bag by Ginger Snap That. And it's one of my favorite bags because I just think those cats are cute. I mean, you got the cat there with the monocle. You've got the smushy face cat over here. And then you have the slightly evil grinning cat there. And this is one of my favorite bags, so it's a good project to work on. So that's all I currently am working on. And you may notice that something is finally out of the works in progress category, and it's because I have finally finished my Suriously Holey by Stephen West. I haven't had a chance to block it yet because it's ginormous. I put it out on an 8-foot long fence panel just to take a picture once it was done, and it's a good 3/4 of that fence panel. So I'm gonna have to block it someplace really large. So here it is. And see, it goes clear out to here, and then clear out to here. And I haven't woven in any ends yet either. And then here's the back side. And you can see along the edge, it's gotten kind of a nice little scallop going on with all my increases and decreases. So I'm glad it's done. It's, as it is, it's huge to begin with. I mean, it wraps quite a bit out around you. And that's not with blocking, so once I block it, it should go from this out to more like this. So it's going to grow quite a bit, I think. So I'm pretty happy with it. It was meant to be a shop sample mainly. So I got to get it blocked in the next couple weeks because I got a festival coming up. So maybe later on today. I'm hoping that blocking is going to fix my one error that is in the pattern where I went back and fixed it, but it still doesn't look 100% correct. But I mean, even for a shawl, this is a pretty large, squishy bundle of stuff. Oh, and that error is right on top. See, you can see where it's wonky at. Praying that blocking is going to fix that, because I know mentally the stitches are correct. We will see. Hopefully it doesn't annoy me forever. So, that's my only finished object. I didn't really do any spinning or machine knitting because I've been on the road quite a bit. But while I was gone, I had an article come out. And this was an article that I've been working on for a little over a year now. And it was all about the travels that I do when I do commercial fiber grading and sorting. So, in the summer 2019 article of edition of Spinoff, I have a 4-page article in here. And it is on page 70, called Tales of an Alpaca Grader. And I'd submitted this article and a whole bunch of photos, and I hadn't seen the actual article yet. So, it was nice. It came. And, of course, the best picture of me in the world. Me in a respirator. You know, nothing like high fashion there. So I've got a solid 2 pages here talking all about the different ways of sorting and breeding, and then some interesting pictures, and then a much better glamour shot of me there. So it's a nice article. It talks quite a bit about different reasons to select fleeces for different purposes, how it is that I work with farms when I'm traveling, how to evaluate a fleece for hand processing. So hopefully it'll give a lot of people some education on quality alpaca out there. Didn't quite make the front cover, but you know, you got to start someplace. So definitely check out the summer 2019 edition of Spinoff and check out my article. So, travels. As usual, I have a lot of upcoming events, and I've added a few since I've been gone. So, let's see. Here in about a week and a half, I'm leaving for Estes Park, Colorado for the Estes Park Wool Market. That's June 7th through the 9th. And I'm teaching a class on corespinning that I think is almost full now out there. So if you're in Colorado, stop by. June 22nd through the 23rd, I'll be doing a Fibery Fun Weekend down at Rolling Oaks Alpaca Ranch in southern Illinois. And this class basically takes you through how to select fleeces, how to wash, dye, and then card them up with different blending fibers, and how to dye several other types of fibers such as bamboo and yarn. The 29th and 30th of June, I'm doing a machine knitting class in Richmond, Kentucky. And then July 17th through the 21st is the Super Summer Knit Together with the Knit Girls down in Nashville, Tennessee. There's a one-day vending event that Saturday where the public is welcome to come in the afternoon. And then I'm also teaching that Sunday at the AOA Natural Fiber Extravaganza, which is also in Nashville, Tennessee. There'll be a bunch of workshops there. There'll be vending there, fleece show, and some animals too, from what I remember. I'm teaching Corespinning and overdyeing the Alpaca rainbow at that event. Then, let's see, August 17th and 18th, I'm teaching a machine knitting class up in Medina, Ohio, which is just south of Cleveland. And I'll go from there to Yakapalooza, August 23rd through the 25th in Tully, New York. And I don't know what all that entails exactly yet, but I know that I'm going there to judge yaks. So that means there's going to be live yaks there. And so it should be a pretty good time, because where there's yaks, there's always fun. Then, September 21st, I'm going to be vending at the Leading Men Fiber Arts Retreat. It's just a one-day vending event for a few hours, and it's called Knitting at the Estate, and it's over in Central Illinois, so that should be a good time. Then, after that, is SAF, October 25th and 27th, and I have a few little private events scheduled in between all that, so it's going to keep me a bit busy. So, now we'll get on to the farm and the adventures that I've been doing the last week and a half or so. So, farm additions. Measles was due Monday. She is showing no signs of having a baby because she knows that I would like the baby to appear. So, she's just hanging out, doing her pregnant thing, and waiting until she gets the urge to drop a baby, I guess. In the meantime, though, we've added 2 females to our herd. We picked up a female named Magically Kissed, and Kissy, as we're going to be calling her, came out of northern Ohio, and she's actually a granddaughter of an alpaca that I used to own. She's a very tall girl, and she's kind of a maroon color. So she brings a lot of Harlequin genetics that I really want in the herd to the herd, and she's only, I think, 3, so this will be her first year breeding, so we got to make some decisions about who her sexy man is going to be. And then, after Colorado, we've added a girl named Annie Oakley. And Annie Oakley is a big girl. She's slightly larger than any alpaca that we own. She's owned by Red Granite Ranch out in Colorado, where I was doing my sorting at. And she's a fawn with some brown spots on her. And when I look at her, I can see the potential for gray and for Appaloosa genetics. So she's currently getting bred to a young male I picked out of the herd named Gallagher, who has no idea what he's getting himself in for because he's never had a date before. But she's an experienced girl, so hopefully he figures it out pretty quickly. But Annie's 5, and she weighed, after shearing, 199 pounds, which is ginormous for us. I think our largest alpaca is 160. So Annie's a big girl, but she has extraordinary fleece still at age 5. So we're excited about that. As soon as she's bred, she'll be joining the herd, so that'll probably be late fall or so. So that'll be a lot of fun. So on to the travel that I did. I just spent a little over a week out at Red Granite Ranch alpacas, and they're up in Livermore, Colorado, which is just south of the Wyoming border. The farm has, how many did we shear? 400 and I think 58 is how many we sheared, and one of those was a llama, and 3 of those were the neighbors' alpacas. And then there's some other alpacas in there that were shorn that were there for breeding purposes. So this will have been my, I want to say, 4th year, maybe, sorting their fleeces for them. So what happens is as the alpaca is shorn, I take the fleece and then I grade it by a 3 micron tolerance level, and then I look at what the stronger fibers are in that fleece, and then I look at the length and the color, and I basically make large batches for commercial production or for sale to indie producers that want to make large lots of yarn. So it's a really interesting experience. I have some of their fleece here with me, so I can kind of give you an idea. So this one doesn't show up as well as what I'd planned, but you can see it's a beautiful rich brown, and it's just got tons of little crimpies throughout it. And this was just one of their random animals that I thought was really pretty that I grabbed a handful out of. And then there's some white that looked really pretty. What else do I have down in here? In my mysterious pile of stuff. This is a neck. Just literally one neck off of an animal. Which, this is crazy. Normally, an animal wouldn't produce this much fiber on a neck. But their animals are very high quality. And so their neck fiber becomes actually usable blanket fiber. So, I posted up some photos early last week of some of their fleeces, and there will be some for sale following Estes Park in June. So I've set aside several fleeces that are very appropriate for hand spinners, and extremely high quality. So keep an eye on my Facebook page, Spottedcircus Alpacas and Llama, and I'll be posting up there when those fleeces will go up for sale. If you happen to be in Estes Park before that, I'll have a lot of those fleeces there. There's a lavender rose gray that is just to die for. It's one of those where if it was my own fleece, I'd be hoarding it. But it's got almost a 4-inch long staple, and it's extremely consistent and fine. But it's this beautiful lilac color that I just love. So I'm going to be posting right after this. I'll have some videos of my time on the farm there and some fleece shots. I'm trying to think if there's anything else interesting that I saw. I didn't get to see very much wildlife on this trip for some reason. There was some antelope out in the backyard hanging out, and Sharon, one of the owners, saw a bobcat run across, but conveniently we weren't there when the bobcat ran across, so I was relegated to just seeing basically alpacas for the most part. So it was a lot of fun though. It's always great to see the babies. And then the day that I left, it started snowing, and it snowed 10 to 12 inches, I think, the next day, which on some of those alpacas is a little bit hard because they've just gone from having an extremely heavy coat where they're hot to being naked and it's snowing. So it's been a little bit rough after the shearing, but no matter when you choose, the weather can change like that in a heartbeat. So they're getting through it, you know, and the older animals have some blankets on and everybody's been brought in for the warmth. So yeah, it's been a really great time working out there with them. I really love being able to see the fleeces come off and see them go into yarn production. Some really high quality fleeces that just literally glow and come off almost like a sheep's blanket, and they have such a squish to them. There was even a couple alpacas where when you push your finger into their fleece, actually an indent stays, which is somewhat unusual in alpacas. So it was a great time. I enjoyed it as usual, and I'll be back out there again in 2 weeks to pick up all those fleeces to then put up for sale for you guys. So that's about it for this week. Hopefully you enjoy the photos and videos of the fleece sharing. And if you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of me. I'm Spottedcircus on Ravelry, Instagram, and Facebook. And all my contact details are in the show notes just down below. So until next week, have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye. you.